Hey guys, welcome back. We're doing another top 5 list today. It's
Hello.
Loren here, Tom over there.
How's it going, everybody?
Let's get right into it here. We're talking top 5 arcade. All time? All time.
Dude, I'm gonna go back to memories from the 90s. I might get flashbacks doing this, you know.
I'm thinking
It's a good thing I'm sitting down.
like 2 rolls of quarters in my pocket, and I am happy to see you, you know?
2 rolls of quarters in my pocket, I'd be there for hours.
That is a roll of quarters and a chubby, good sir. That is. Again, like always, I have a honorable mention.
Okay, let's hear
I'm
it.
sure you do too.
Oh, I do.
So you know I'm putting a racing game on there.
Oh my god.
Oh wait, you know what?
I hope you're not gonna say what I think you're gonna say.
I'm actually putting 2 on here. Okay, so my number 1 is, this is going back to childhood memories too.
You mean your number one honorable mention?
Honorable mention.
Okay.
I just have one.
Okay.
It's Outrun from Sega.
Oh, that is a good one.
It is a good one. Came out in '86, man.
Yeah, great music.
'86.
House
9
house
years old.
rock, or whatever it is.
Well, what's better than that is you could select.
Oh yeah, while you're driving.
Select the soundtrack while
I
you're
kind
driving.
of like that. Click.
Yeah, it was a Ferrari Testarossa. And
So awesome.
Beautiful car.
You did have a girlfriend in the passenger seat.
Yeah, she was in
didn't
the
you?
passenger seat.
Yeah, that's right.
Because when you're busting race and you add another 130 pounds to the
Hell
why
yeah.
not? The coolest, if you saw one, sit down motion cabinet ever.
Yeah, actually,
it
looks
looked
really
cool,
neat.
man. And but it leaned the wrong way. Like when you turn to the right, it tilted to the left. It was kind of weird.
It's all the G-force, man.
But what made this so cool was the branching paths. So you get through to the one racing section, and then you come up to a fork in the road, and you literally had 2 seconds to decide. And the way you decided was the left one would be desert scenery, and the right one would be ocean scenery, and you'd be which one do I feel like seeing today, right?
Yeah.
Ah, fuck, too late. you got to pick one. So that I love that the scenery was varied, but also that the road went up and down, and when you were going up the hill, you actually couldn't see over the crest of the hill, kind of, which was all new at the time. So just a cool racing game, man.
Yeah, it looked pretty.
I mean, by today's standards, no. But
Probably dated a little.
But back then, what a memory.
Yeah,
So that's
totally
my
worth it.
honorable mention.
My honorable mention is Lucky and Wild. 1993, made by Namco. You have a driver's seat with a pistol, and then it's
yeah.
a 2-person cabinet, and your other person, and your other friend would be shooting the other pistol,
Right.
and it's a driving, shooting, gun up game, and it was so much fun, and it was really cool to see these. And oh my god, what was that theater called here years ago?
Palladium?
Famous Players.
Oh, I thought you meant Palladium.
No, Famous Players
Okay.
had this cabinet, and I purposely would bring quarters for every time I go see a movie with my family. Right.
Yeah, before it was Loonies.
Yeah. For this Loonies back in the day, quarters. But yeah, that's my honorable mention. Lucky and Wild, 1993,
Wild.
sweet game.
We're kind of 2 for 2 on racing games.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Look at that.
But those were the good games.
They were.
They did a lot of good, different arcade cabinets for each racing game. Some of them were identical, but a lot were innovative and new, and had maybe some of them had shift sticks, or some were stand ups, some were sit downs. It really depended.
Some were a super bike that leaned left and right.
Oh my god!
Remember that one?
Yeah. So here is my number 5. It's NBA Run and Gun. Just an awesome alley-oop basketball game. It was made by Konami, and the controls, again, easy. There's only 2 rules in this game. Timeout and goaltending. Everything else is good. Good to go. Like I said, this is an alley-oop game. You could serve up your friend a basket, and he would just slam it down, just dunk that shit. You had your classic lineup at the time, which, you know what, 1993, dude, you had the classic Bulls lineup.
Yep.
You had the classic
Lakers are
Orlando
still
Magic's
Pistons.
lineup. You had the Knicks. You had everybody were like huge NBA stars
Pacers,
back then.
Pistons, they were all kind of there at the time, right?
Yeah, and like I said, the alley oops, the dunks. You could do behind the back passes. You could do bounce passes to your partner where you could grab it and you could bounce it off the backboard and dunk it in. Like, Jesus Murphy, it was so addictive.
Jesus Murphy. Bringing out the big guns today.
Yeah. They had the split screen one where you had one joystick or two joysticks on one side and two on the other.
Yeah.
So you could play 4 people and the screens would be actually the way you're going all the time. They never had to rotate. So it would always look like you would be going on that side of the court.
Yeah.
And like the sound is awesome. If you've always wanted to play a good arcade basketball game and you've only ever played NBA Jam, this is like a step up from NBA Jam. It doesn't have the ridiculous dunks, but the controls that Konami produced for this cabinet were just like fantastic.
Yeah. And like Konami they were always there with like Double Dribble was like on
again
NES
Konami just does good sports games,
right?
you know, like Konami sports, you're gonna get a hit all the time. So Lauren, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is from 1990, in April 90. It was from Williams, and it's called Smash TV.
Oh man, that is good.
So this one has
Big
like
money, big prizes. I love it.
The control scheme is like 2 joysticks. There's no buttons.
Yeah.
So you're just constant auto fire. So for anyone that hasn't seen this game, you are essentially
Top-down
playing.
view.
You're playing Running Man.
Yeah.
Okay. You're in a future where a game show is you go on and you try to survive a bunch of rooms.
Everyone's trying to kill
Everyone's trying to kill you, and we're talking like hundreds of enemies per screen.
Yeah.
Very difficult. Like crank the difficulty up. You are wasting $10 on this game, no problem.
It's so addictive, and it's like you want to make it to that insane boss at the end where you like shoot. It's like 5 different stages. You shoot him, he loses limbs.
Yeah, like the big head on the tank guy. That like, he's man. What a quarter muncher this one was.
This is such like 80s, because like I think if I recall properly, the screens in between where you win prizes, this game show host with like these 2 blondes and like bikinis or something.
Well, he was like a total homage to the fake guy, like the I'd buy that for $1, which he says that.
I'd buy that for. That's right, he does.
He does, and then Total Carnage, which was the sequel to this game, which was way like you thought this one was hard. Total Carnage is just bullshit.
That's so funny that this made your list, because I remember spending quarters on this back in the day.
Oh, I loved it. And then so when Super Smash TV for Super Nintendo came out, absolutely.
Oh, I owned it. It was awesome.
I loved it.
We
we can brag. Like I'm not gonna admit how much money this cost, but I can brag that me and a friend Scott have made it to the Pleasure Dome on the arcade version, which is. If you have to pick up a certain amount of money to be able to even qualify to go in there, and then it's just like it's one spare room where you literally just run around, pick up like blondes and bikinis, and it just gives you money. Which back in the day when there was like a high
80s.
scoreboard, it mattered.
My god!
So like if you got in that room, you were guaranteed high score.
That's
like,
awesome. I never even heard of that.
Oh no, it cost so much money.
It's so funny.
So much money too. Because you have to keep continuing, right?
Yeah, quarters.
Yeah. Number 4, I have another racing game.
Oh my god. I'm like stressing out over here.
I mean, this is the iconic one. It's Daytona USA.
God damn it. Me too.
We're not shooting, no.
No, I can't do that.
I can't do it. I'm too old for that.
That's enough.
The thing that I loved about this game was, I think Virtua Racing actually came out before this one. But the 4 camera angles, loved it. Because some people love being in the cab.
Yeah.
I love being as far away as possible.
Absolutely.
Right? But like the force feedback on the steering wheel and like the
so awesome,
like adaptive difficulty. So if you were really, really good at the game, everybody got better.
Yeah.
So after the first lap, it was like, okay, you are way too far ahead. So we're just gonna crank the difficulty up on you.
One of the best shifters in like any racing game.
Yes. Like that little quick throw, that just felt so
And it
good,
gives
man.
you like a before you should shift gears and a post.
Yeah.
Like of like how much you're gonna max over. No other game had that.
No. And the thing I loved the most about this was if you were if you were blessed and went to a city arcade that had the 8-player cabinet.
8. Yeah, I was gonna say I've only played with 6.
What
I've
a
never seen the
ridiculous!
8.
You would literally just stand there and be like, you know, like,
Yeah.
we're gonna do Daytona in like 2 minutes, and like you would get randoms coming up, like, yeah, man.
Oh
I'm in.
yeah, I did that too back in
All
the day,
the time,
man.
man. Because 8 players was so fun. But
Who
then,
didn't want to play with like 7? Because you'd have to remember to be back there in the day. It's like you'd be in a cabinet and you're playing this game, and it's 8 people who don't know each other, chirping each other off.
Oh, yeah.
And then after the game, it's like, hey, good game.
Yeah, and like sometimes you would
Camaraderie.
you'd be like, hey, rematch, and everybody be in, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you got like 15 people in line, like I got next.
Yeah, they're like, oh, these guys are playing this game. Must be one of the best games in this fucking place.
Oh, it was, man. You used to get like an hour lineup on that game, man. It was so
I
fun.
love Daytona USA.
The Saturn port is perfection.
Oh, it is perfect. I have it for the
Perfect.
Saturn when I had Saturn.
So if you have a Saturn out there and don't own this game, there's no reason not to.
Yeah, that should be one of the games. That should be a pack-in game for the Saturn.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, think about that. If they had that as a pack-in game for the
I'd have to-
Saturn,
I'd have
I
to
think they
look
would have
back.
sold like millions more of copies.
I wonder. I gotta look back. I wonder if there was a Daytona edition, but I don't remember.
There's 2 different versions for Sega Saturn
Like 2
of the
versions
Daytona game.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that's
that's
my
a
number
great
4.
game.
That's my number 4.
Do you want to know what my number 4 is?
Yes.
It's
You're nervous. You're nervous.
You're gonna make fun of me.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you if you promise not to make fun of me.
I can't promise that, man. It's April Fool's.
Die Hard arcade game.
That's a good I like that.
It came out August '96. It was made by Sega AM1 team. That's when Sega split by AM1 and AM2 because
Yeah.
they needed 2 teams to do twice as much games because Sega was pumping a bunch of arcades still back then, and they had so much workforce
always
that
their
were really
moneymaker.
good.
Like, as much as people think Genesis was like the dominating force, the arcade was always their moneymaker.
This Die Hard game, you could play, if I recall this properly, you'd have this girl with shorts on, who's like a more like kung fu karate style, and then you have this dude who's more or less just punch and kick. And you'd go around, there's these quick action sequences where you have to like put the joystick left, right, or press a button, and if you win that, you keep running through to the next level. You can pick up weapons. There's destruction on actually the levels. There's awesome bosses you can fight at the end. I forget what this game was actually called, but they called it Die Hard Arcade here, just so it would sell. But it's called something else in Japan. I know they just used the license to make it like,
it's
drawn
common.
quarters here. My memory serves me correct. I think you can even do grapples, like go up, grapple the guy and suplex them, or DDT them or something. Like, you can even do grapples in this game.
I think it's been too long.
It's so much fun.
It's been too long.
Like, if you had never played a good 2-player campaign level beat 3D game where it's kind of like a Street Fighter crossed with like picking up weapons and guns, this is the one to play with your friend. You'll want to beat this game. My number 3 is 1992, made by Capcom, released January 25th, Dungeons & Dragons Towers of Doom.
Ooh.
That was so much fun. You could pick whatever class of D&D character you wanted.
Man,
you can
like
have all your spells, magic, and different items you can pick up. You can do combo moves. You can do dual combo moves. It's insane what this game accomplished for the big D&D nerds out there. Like, this is I believe the first one before they did Shadow of Mystara. And this is just like so much fun. They just nailed it. Everything is just perfect. Like the sound effects, the music, the character, how the design, how you go through. You can actually have multiple paths in this one. There's a couple different endings. It's such a really good game. And you can have 4-player cabinets.
To me, it was like just minor, tiny improvements on like the Golden Axe formula.
Yeah.
And like you choose any of those, like Dungeons and Dragons, Golden Axe.
Yeah, they're all like
Magic Sword.
I was gonna say the same, but they're all very fun to play.
But they're all fantastic. You pick any of those on your list, I'm happy with any of them. Yeah.
So how about you? What is your number 3?
My number 3 might blow your mind that it's only number 3 on my list, but September 1993, made by Capcom. That might give it away. I'm actually going with Super Street Fighter 2. So I'm going to have to go with one of them. And so you can choose 12 people instead of 8.
Yeah.
Like in the original Street Fighter 2, you couldn't choose the bosses. So when they open up new challengers, all these new all Balrogs, like 6 punches and all that. Anyway, I digress. Super Street Fighter 2, to me, the new characters were just enough to like give it that new energized vibe with me, like Fei Long. Like,
who is your favorite character?
Oh, Fei Long by far.
Really?
He's Bruce Lee.
Can you guess who my favorite character is?
I'm gonna go with Cammy.
Is Zangief.
Okay. Yeah, that.
Yeah, Zangief, of course.
Yeah, okay. Never mind. But like
Ken would be my second.
But like Cammy
Ken would be my second.
Oh, Ken would be your second?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, Ken. Like everybody loved how you could break the fuck out of the game with Ken. Like he was overpowered.
Was he though?
His Dragon Punch Shoryuken was way stronger than Ryu's. And
did you measure?
You could also have a triple.
How did you measure this, Loren?
Oh, because you could do triple for one. Like if you did a fierce,
good point.
It hit 3 times instead of 2 for Ryu's. Plus, Ryu's would just immediately knock them down, whereas Ken's could be pushed into a combo, and then you can just
You're bringing back memories, man.
But Super, just everything about it was pumped up, and then that intro, with the first time you saw it plugged in, you walked in and you saw Ryu in like the dark and the shadow bouncing back and forth, and then full screen sprite, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
what's a new one? And then when he does the Hadouken right at the screen, you're like,
I remember that, dude.
Take my money. These games were fucking everywhere.
Yeah, they were.
Because I can't remember the units, but like a typical arcade, like you're lucky to get 5,000 units out. Street Fighter 2, like you're talking like the 10s, the 20s, like 20,000 units out. Like they were everywhere.
They pumped these.
They were in a Mac store down the road in Sherwood Park when I grew up. Like they're
I
everywhere.
remember these in a Charles Smart.
Yeah, like they're
like Donair shops. Sorry, I remember seeing these in Donair shops.
Yeah.
Like everywhere. It didn't matter. Street Fighter 2, there it was.
Everyone played Street Fighter in 92, 93, right?
That's an awesome number 3.
I think so.
What's your number 2?
My number 2, if it wasn't for my number 1, this would be my favorite game. So it perfectly fits as number 2. 1991, September, Konami.
Oh, man.
4-player game.
No way.
Called Sunset Riders.
Oh, yeah. Hiya!
So,
who's your character? Who did you always
Cormano.
Cormano,
for sure.
I was what's his name? I was a Bob.
Bob? The revolver?
The shotgun.
No, the rifle, because Cormano was the shotgun.
There's 2 shotgun guys.
No, he was a rifle.
Oh, okay, so Bob.
Yeah. Right? Oh, well, Bob was the rifle, Cormano was the shotgun.
Yeah, I was Bob.
Bob, so, like, the guy with the poncho and the fucking... Yeah, man. I was Cormano, for sure.
So, if you, like, what was it? If you stayed still for too long, when they, like, he put his guns away under his poncho?
they had passive animations. The problem was you never stood still long enough to see that shit, because there was action.
You can jump up and down. It's like two bi-level...
So 2 levels,
bi-level stages. You can shoot TNT that would drop down and like kill people. You can shoot down barrels. You can pop on like electrical lines or whatever, or like
you can pick up
lines.
Weapon upgrades and like like rapid fire and shit.
Awesome
like that,
bosses
right?
at the end of each level.
Yeah,
you bury me with
good,
my money.
Colorful sprites, right?
Oh, so awesome.
So every level started with a wanted poster.
Yeah,
and then it was like wanted whatever for 10,000, and then but the whole point of the game was to make money.
Absolutely.
Like every
you wanted the high
damsel
score.
You saved, everything you shot, you earned money. So but yeah, if you walked in and you randomed with other guys and you got stuck with like Steve or Billy Cool, like the guys with the 6-shooters, you're like lame.
Yeah, you do not want the 6. You want the rifle and the shotgun in this game.
Yeah, so like
it's an awesome game.
It's like
dude.
Wild West Contra.
Dude, I spent so many. I dumped so many quarters in this game.
Oh yeah, we there's 8 stages. We moneyed one day.
Yeah.
See, I had a paper route.
So normally I would make it to like level 5.
Yeah.
Or sorry, the end of the indigenous level.
Okay.
With the knives. Like if I just had like a handful of quarters, not that many, just enough to like play this game and see how it goes.
Yeah.
I would probably make it to that stage with a knife boss, and that's where I would die because I'd be like, I know I have to like slide across to get away right in between, but I would always die right there.
Yeah. No, that's...
The horse levels are such a pain in the ass.
We gotta go to Arcadium, dude. Yeah, that's my number 2.
It's a good number 2.
I think so, man. Your number 2.
My number 2. And this is probably going to surprise you. I think this is going to surprise you. It's made by Konami, of course, right?
Mhm.
And released in 1999, Silent Scope.
Oh no, that's absolutely.
So awesome. You would go to an arcade and you'd literally see like thank you, Batman.
Hi, Batman.
You'd see a sniper rifle and you're like, holy crap, is that a gun? And then you go up there, it's like, holy shit, there's a sight. And then you can look through it, and you can literally aim
And there's
and
a
shoot.
TV screen
There's a TV
in the
screen.
scope. Yeah.
Yeah, man, and it's insane because you can also people can also see what you're doing because there's a screen also right behind.
Yeah.
So it's like,
That was a ballin' shooter.
Such
man.
a
That's-
awesome
that
game.
might be the best shooter.
I remember every time I'd go to an arcade, if I saw Silent Scope, I would play it every
Yeah.
single time. It's like I just couldn't help myself.
Like on games.
And I remember playing that game when it was like dollar loonies, so I wouldn't even be spending the quarters. I'd be spending the
I was gonna
loonies.
say too, like
in 99.
Street Fighter 2 has a little bit of a nefarious history too, because it was one of the first games that was 50 cents to start,
Yeah.
and then 25 cents to continue, and people are like, "What the fuck is this, man?
Oh,
I
yeah,
can't
man.
afford that."
Yep.
Right? And now, jeez, like you're lucky if you can play a game for a loony now. But-
So that was my number 2. I think it was pretty good.
oh yeah. No, number 2. Silent Scope is what a good time. Batman is literally Batman. He's parkouring over there.
So, do you want to hear my number 1?
I want to relish in your number 1.
It's Daytona, USA.
Oh, I mean,
Of course.
it deserves it.
And like Loren
That's fair.
said, I remember there was a 6 cabinet arcade machines here at the arcade when they had it. And I remember every time I would go over there and I'd sit in the seats.
Do they not have it anymore?
Oh, hell no. It's gone. It's been gone for a while now.
Fuck.
I know. The one good thing they should have kept.
See, I wasn't a big beercade fan though, because like no maintenance on their machines whatsoever. Like
Yeah, the maintenance is very... they don't... It's not really a arcade.
no, it's a beer.
yeah.
Cade, yeah.
But anyway, they had a 6-person cabinet, and I remember sitting down there, and I also like I'd look around and I'd be like, stand back up, hey, does anybody want to join me on Daytona? And like literally a couple dudes like my age be like, oh yeah, like get off from their table and
Yeah.
leave their girlfriends to be like, yeah, let's do some Daytona USA. It's like everyone,
Dude.
it's such an easy game to just get in and play. It's like if you wanted to do automatic, just keep your foot fucking down
Yep.
and drive.
Yeah,
But
like
you
the
always
beginner,
want
you didn't even have to let off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But dude, you want to go shift in this because you can go a little bit quicker
Because
if
you get like
shift
six,
manual
it's
shift.
like 6 miles an hour faster. And
But it's still cool to shift. It's like boom,
Yeah,
boom,
it's just-
shift
it's
into
fun.
third, boom, shift into fourth,
I
boom.
loved it. What was your like? So the 3 courses, right? You got beginner, intermediate, advanced. What was yours? What was?
So if it was with racers that wouldn't complain a lot, like, oh, I'd beat your butt more in this map, it would be expert mode,
Whew,
which is I think downtown or
it's tough.
or like the freeway or some
It's
shit.
tough.
I forget.
Like it's gonna cost you $10 just to learn the course.
Yeah.
And
Lots of corners.
Then,
But
'cause-
normally I would like to do intermediate because
yeah, that was yeah.
I think that was the freeway.
Yes, with the bridge and the,
Yeah, the freeway and the U-turns and whatnot in it. But if you really wanted to play with 6 or 8 people, you just kept it on beginners so that everyone just knew to just keep going in a loop and then
I
slow
might-
down the corners. And it's still fun to do that.
I have it on Saturn. I might bust it out tonight.
I love that game.
Oh man.
What is your number 1?
My number 1 is it's an oddball, but so it's like everybody's top 5 list. Like your number 1 should be for personal reasons, and this one is number 1 because I own this bitch. Like I dominate this game. I one credit it all the time. It's
Wow.
720 by Atari. I cannot believe how old this game is. It's from 1986. I am shocked it's that old. So if you've never seen this, it's like the skateboarding game with the very...
What's it called? Oh, 720. Oh, yeah, I played that before.
So
Yeah,
it's
it's such
got
a
the really
weird colored
weird-
cabinet, right?
Well, and it had like subwoofers on the front.
Yeah.
It was loud as
And the
shit, man. When
controls
you
were
came into the
fucking-
arcade, you knew if there was a 720 because you could feel it before you walked in. Like,
Oh, holy shit, is that 10-inch subs?
what the hell? Like, it was crazy, man. And it was like literally car subs in it, like power, man.
And
But-
it has
and then it
such
had
a weird funky colored
joystick,
and
like-
controls.
yeah, so it was a white ball joystick that was like on a 45-degree angle.
Yeah.
And you could not just move it across. It was like on a disc.
Yeah.
So it spun around.
So
it didn't
weird.
go. And at first you're like, this is off-putting. And then you get used to it, and it makes all the sense in the world for the game. So, so it's like an isometric view, right?
Yeah.
You are in this place. I think it's called Skate City, and the whole point of the game is to get enough money and enough points to like buy equipment with the money, which gets you. You could spin faster, you could jump higher, you could skate faster, and you can. If you fell, you got up quicker.
Yeah, and skateboarding was like pretty big back then, man.
Yep.
You
Well,
know,
that was
like-
like the height of like Tony Hawk.
Yeah, it was huge.
That's when Tony Hawk was like.
This is before the Tony Hawk Pro Skaters and everything else, man.
There was no.
like I'm trying to. I
was
think
no
this
skateboard
is
game.
the
This
first
is it.
skateboarding game, yeah.
And
Because after that, it was Skate or Die, right?
Yeah. So yeah.
We don't have to go into that one. But yeah, 720 was like the first skateboarding game, and I recall it because of the odd colored cabinet. And it
Yeah.
was so like when you.
It
When,
was-
when I would walk past other cabinets looking to my right and just to see what they
It was
were,
like it was.
I
a
didn't even have to
walking
turn around to know what was
fucking
behind me.
KOA jacket. That's what
Yeah.
it looked like.
It's
That
so
those
hilarious.
shitty 80 colors, right? Yellow and pink and blue with like a gray plastic
Yeah, but
spacey cabinet.
dude, you'd be lying to me if you wouldn't wear one of those jackets right now.
I mean, they're going for stupid amounts apparently. But,
Oh, I guess yeah, that's back in.
but no, like so then you would run around, and I mean it's so I'm the guy that learned how to dominate this game. So you skate around and you trick the whole damn time, and you run it right down to the last second, right? And there's like at about 10 seconds left, the guy comes on and says skate or die, and then
Yeah.
all the bees, like a swarm of bees come out, and they're just gonna fuck you up if you don't get into a park, right?
Yeah.
And then you got 4 parks. You got like downhill, ramp, slalom, and I think half pipe or ramp.
Yeah,
I think they
ramp.
just call it. And on all of those, you have to get certain points to get like bronze, silver, or gold. And if you get all gold, then you just jump right ahead and go to level 4. And then if you get all gold again, you go right to level 8, and then that's how you get the most points, right? I was so good at this game that I could walk into a cabinet, look at the high score, and be like, I'll get top. And I would always get top score on 1 quarter. You could continue up to 4 times. And if you
Pretty
continue,
generous for an arcade game.
your score would go up by 1 point. Or if you used 2 continues, your score would end in 2 points. And every time I walked in there, the high scores were all like 1, 2, 3, or 4 points at the end. And I would crush them all, and my high score had 0 at the end, which means I did it off 1 quarter. I love the fuck out of this game, and I dominated it. That's why it's my number 1.
I have to be honest, I didn't expect 720 to be your number 1 arcade game.
No, and I get it.
Well,
Right.
that was our arcade list.
Yes, and I'm sure there's a lot of debate and hate.
Probably a lot of hate.
Throw it all our way. It's fine. Like
We can take it. It's fine.
Tell us how wrong
We'll,
we are.
we'll
We
cry
like
on
it.
our own time.
Yeah. Just tell us. We're wrong. We know.
Well, thanks for joining me, Lauren.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me. Let's do this again.
Okay. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.